And today we're going to talk about a very important thing, life insurance. Life insurance, I think, is a critical component in any financial plan. You've got to be able to take care of the things that are near and dear to you. So it's just like you're required to actually buy car insurance. If you buy a car, you go hit somebody. Homeowner's insurance, you get a mortgage, you have to have homeowner's insurance if the house burns down or if it receives damage. I think life insurance is one of those things also that's a requirement. Now, obviously there's no state or federal laws yet on that, and I certainly hope we never come to that. But life insurance is one of those things that people need.
Well, you know what, though? The thing about life insurance that most people misunderstand, life insurance is not for the person per se. It's for your family.
Exactly. It really has a lot of things that are very much needed. For example, if you are the breadwinner in your family primarily, or the main breadwinner, and something happens to you unexpectedly. Of course, we're all 16.
Well, yeah, we're all omnipotent.
And I've got my Superman jacket on today.
Exactly.
With the big S on it. Maybe I should have the big P on it. I don't know. But nothing's ever going to happen to us. The reality of the matter is things do happen unexpectedly, and your spouse needs some money, your kid needs some money, your family needs some money, your significant other, whatever the case might be, your business owner, your business partner.
Mm-hmm.
So life insurance
I didn't
can really
even think
come
about
to the
that.
rescue.
Yeah,
absolutely.
You bring up a great point, Michael, because I know some people that do some stuff with a supplement, and one of the doctors that's involved, they deal with cardiovascular disease, heart disease, and stuff like that. So here's the interesting thing about that. It's the number one killer in the United States, and half of the people that have a heart attack, their first indication that they were having a heart attack is death. And so how do you plan for that? And if you have no backup and no life insurance or anything like that, you're leaving a family with nothing.
After doing this for almost 20 years now, I can tell you stories that would really be upsetting, would really be unnerving in terms of why people don't necessarily consider buying life insurance.
I'm just kind of curious, Michael, is there something overall that you find more than anything else when you talk with people about that, why they didn't think about it?
It really runs the gamut. More than anything else, it's almost along the lines of getting a will. A lot of people don't necessarily want to go to an attorney and get a will because they say, well, I don't have enough money, or I don't have to worry about those kinds of things. Somebody else will take care of it. I really think that you're in denial, and it's not responsible.
Well, I think that it really kind of comes back to where we started with that, is that we all think, well, I'm not going to die for, I'm going to live for another 20, 40, 30, 50 years or something like that. That's why we come up with this where unexpected things happen. They aren't necessarily good, but when they happen, it is what it is. The reality is heartbreaking, and it happens probably every day, that a family has nothing, absolutely nothing, because the breadwinner unexpectedly died and there was no life insurance. And even then, you're scrambling around going, well, what are we going to do even about the burial?
Exactly, yeah. I have a short story, and this happened about 5 or 6 years ago, as a matter of fact. Client out of state, and I get a phone call from her, and she'd been a client for a number of years, and she said, my husband passed away, and I have a little IRA account, and I need to close it. And I said, well, I said, I'm really sorry for your loss. I said, tell me what's going on. And she said, well, he was in between jobs, and his life insurance that he had with his previous job had ended because he was taking a job with another company for a promotion and actually more money. So he was trying to do the right thing for the family. However, what he didn't consider was that the benefits did not go into effect immediately. Had a massive heart attack and died.
Wow.
They could not revive him. And there she's left with 2 kids, house payment, bunch of bills, and now she's got to try to figure out what to do as far as try to keep the family together.
Oh, my gosh.
And it was just heart-wrenching. And I'll never forget that story. I was on the phone with her for almost an hour, and it was a very tearful conversation because of all the things that she said she was going to have to do. She was going to have to move back with her mom. Thank God she had a mom in town that she could move into. The kids were going to have to be pulled out of school. So it wasn't a very good situation. And here's the saddest part of it. It didn't have to be that way.
Right.
It didn't have to be that way. With a little bit of planning, that could have been taken care of.
Well, and somebody, and I don't even remember who this was, but told me a long time ago, as far as life insurance goes, because at the time, I worked for a great company, and it was group policy, and you could actually add to that amount at a very, very low amount. And so I had pretty darn good coverage. They said something that woke me up about that, basically, that you need to look at that as a supplemental policy, that having a standalone policy is your number one defense. The way that they told it to me, it made a lot of sense. And I said, well, wait a minute, you know what, you're right, because just what you spoke about, you're in between jobs or something like that, your group policy ended over here, it didn't and start over there. What do you do in the interim?
You've got to have something. You've got to have a foundation.
Right.
And I think when you have a policy with regard to, and we'll talk about what's the difference between term and permanent.
Yeah, because I'm kind of curious about that. But I think that just kind of jumping right into this, I think that one of the major things that we have with a lot of people, and especially because of the economy being the way it is they feel like, you know what, I just can't afford it. What's your take on those?
It's an expense that you need to put in your budget, and it doesn't have to be a whole lot of money. I mean, term life insurance, and we offer both. We offer term life insurance and also permanent life insurance that offers cash value, and then it's a matter of how you want to manage that cash value. But term life insurance is probably going to be your least expensive option. It's not going to be in it for the long term because think about the name of it. Right? The name is term.
Yeah. We'll cover you for this long, and then you're old and you're sick now. We don't want you anymore.
That's right. Just like the president has a term, or the senators.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
Right, thank God. Right.
Yeah.
The congressmen.
Yeah, because they're old and sick, but somehow we can't get rid of them.
They keep coming back. Don't
Yeah.
they? But term life insurance is exactly that. It has a term, and there's some consequences at that point when the term is ended. Some policies will allow you to renew. Some will not allow you to renew. In any case, if you do renew, you're looking at substantial increases in premium at that point.
Oh, okay.
So that's one of the things to consider. So it's very attractive on the front end.
Right.
You can buy a lot for small dollars, especially when you're young, and maybe that's the best solution.
So when you're hearing these, and I'm just thinking in my mind because I see these advertisements a lot, and they'll say, you know, a 45-year-old man can get $1 million policy for as low as $20 a month. So that is kind of like it's like a teaser rate, like with the cable TV for $25 for a year or something. Is that kind of the way that it's set up?
It's really funny to hear these advertisements because then at the very end of the advertisement, and most of them have it, if not they should put it in, is that they're going to tell you that it is a 10-year term. The 10-year term is about the shortest period you can. Some companies will go 5, but most go 10. And then, of course, it's going to be the very best class rate. In other words, if you're a marathon runner and you have the best pulse and the best blood pressure and you're on no meds, and they're going to give you the very best preferred rates. Some companies say elite preferred or super preferred or Superman preferred, whatever.
We know you're not going to die preferred.
But it's probably, I don't know, it's probably 2 or 3% of the population that qualifies for that.
Wow, that's small.
So that's
so it is just the lead on.
It's just a lead on.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to do that to my clients. I'm going to quote them. If they want the very best rates, I'll quote them the very best rates because we shop the market for our clients. We're not affiliated with one insurance company.
Oh, okay.
Like
So with Pennica Financial Group, then you're going to find the best buy for their particular situation, circumstances, and stuff like that.
Exactly.
Rather than calling into one place that they've got basically this is what they offer, you either fit or you don't fit, and this is how much it is, and that's that.
Exactly. We act as a broker in that situation, and we have relationships with many different companies. So my job really becomes to ask the right questions, see exactly what the need is. Hopefully it's part of a financial strategy. Hopefully we've had a chance to talk about these things on the front end. Although I do have people from time to time call me, and all they want is just life insurance, and that's okay.
Yeah.
And then really shop the market for them and educate them in terms of what I'm doing for them. And then we can both arrive at a conclusion.
Well, and see, this really makes a big difference, folks, and I really encourage you. We talk about this a lot, but don't buy into the hype and the rhetoric and things like that. With Pennica Financial Group, they're here working for you. They don't have an interest in a particular area. They're interested in you.